Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a very quick post full moon energy check-in because I have received a lot of downloads and clarifications, and so we're going to start with some channeled messages, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card, maybe some tarot cards, and just do a quick check-in. So yesterday we talked about some channeled messages and downloads that I had received with regards to abandonment. And what we're really doing with this full moon, and we're still in the full moon energy. Remember, the super full moon is very, very potent, very strong at this time. And we're still feeling that energy. What it's about is all about release. And we've talked about this for the past few readings, that we're really releasing what doesn't serve us anymore, energetically, so that we can level up in our journey. And you are being called to level up. You're being called to rise to the best and highest timeline, the best and highest version of yourself, because that is what's happening on the planet as a whole. The planet is ascending. And as the planet is ascending, you're being called to rise as well. And that means that you are being called to change. Now, when we mean change, it's not that you're changing for anybody else. You're changing for yourself, becoming the best and highest version for you. And that really means looking deep within yourself and asking yourself the honest questions. Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you still repeating patterns? Where are you still in the same place, at least vibrationally? For some, this might be you're in the same career. For some, you might be in the same financial situation. For some, you might be in the same relationship or the same home. Where are you being called to make a change? And it's all about being honest with yourself and making decision to make a change, making the conscious choice to make a change, to not be stuck in that same stale, stagnant energy. Because remember, if the cup is full and that water has been there for a while, it's stale, it's stagnant. And you don't want to drink from a stale, stagnant cup of water. Sometimes you have to release it, you have to pour it out in order for fresh energy to come in. So take a look at your life, take a look at your home environment, take a look at your relationships, take a look at your patterns, take a look at your beliefs. Where are you being called to ascend? Where are you being called to rise above and beyond what you have known before? Because that is the only way that you're going to level up in your life, by really looking at yourself. Now, you guys know I talk a lot about myself. I use myself as anecdotes. Relate to it as you will for your own journey. Yesterday we talked a lot about abandonment. We talked about a download I had received about how non-commitment and abandonment are two sides to the same coin. I'm going to link that reading in the description box below. You can check out at the very least, I think it's like the first 10 minutes or so where we talk about that. So do check that out. I don't want to repeat all of it. But it's two sides to the same coin. So if you're experiencing this sacred partnership experience, we should say, this path to ascension, you're both reflecting abandonment issues back to each other. Only one counterpart is expressing it in non-commitment, which is emotional distance, sometimes even physical distance, if they're blocking you, if they're not responding to you, if they're not communicating with you, if they are not being open vulnerably or intimately with you, expressing themselves. The other partner is abandoning themselves or abandoning the connection, having abandonment wounds by pushing too much, holding on too much. I'm also hearing wanting too much. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting. There's nothing wrong with desire. There's nothing wrong with having dreams, wanting to manifest. But it's when you cling. It's when you have that attachment. It's when you have that control. And a lot of divine feminines, for example, have been releasing control over the past few months, the past few years on this journey. That was part of their path, to learn how to be in divine feminine energy, which is all about receiving, which is all about allowing it to flow. You have both energies within you. They want me to remind you of this. You have both energies within you. You have masculine energy and you have feminine energy within you. And at different points in any given day, you'll be called to step into your masculine energy and your feminine energy. And they're saying you don't have to be entirely conscious of this. Just be conscious of when you're in distorted energy, because that's what you have to clear. For example, divine masculine energy, in order to rise into their divine masculine energy, they take control, they take the lead, they take authority. When we take control, not from a manipulative place, not from an egoic place, but from a place of leading the connection, from a place of protecting the connection. But their feminine energy within them is all about, how do you express yourself? How do you be open? How do you be receptive? How do you be in flow? And you have the polarity. You guys, you are the yin and the yang. You are the feminine and the masculine energy. And if you're both in masculine and masculine energy, then you're just going to be butting heads and repelling each other energetically. If you are both in feminine energy, then again, it's that butting heads, it's that resistance, it's that blocking each other. You're not in flow together because you're in the same energy. Now, that's not a call. It's almost like the more conscious person can recognize that pattern and step back into their predominant energy. But be conscious of the ego, because the ego can be very tricky. The ego likes to manipulate. The ego likes to control. The ego likes to protect. The ego likes to self-sabotage. So if you're both facing the same core abandonment wound, just expressing it differently, divine masculine might be trying to, how do I put this? They might not be expressive. Divine feminines, so they might not be receptive to their feminine energy within them, which is being open, which is being communicative, which is being honest and vulnerable. Divine feminine might be too much in her masculine energy, so they're in their masculine energy. Divine feminine might also be in her masculine energy, where she's trying to control the situation, where she's not open, which is then suppressing divine masculine's feminine energy within him, because it's two masculine energies butting heads against each other. I really hope that makes sense. Basically, what's happening is there's two things that are happening. You're in the same energy, and it's all about getting back into the energy that you truly embody. And for divine feminines to really be in that divine feminine energy, your masculine is in a place where they are your safe space. They are protective of you. They allow you to express yourself, and you feel safe enough to do so. You feel supported. You feel protected. You feel secure in your relationship. You feel like there's balance. You feel like there's harmony. You feel like there is love. You feel the love, and you're able to receive the love. That's you and your divine feminine energy with a masculine who's in their divine masculine energy. Because the divine masculine energy is the one who is able to energetically protect and hold and lead, take the authority for the relationship, take the authority for the connection. And they do so by expressing themselves as well. They do so by being honest with themselves. That's not just feminine energy. Again, divine masculine energy has to learn how to balance out their feminine energy within them as well. And I feel like that's what they're learning at this time. They're learning to express themselves. They're learning to be vulnerable. That's what their feminine energy. As you feminines rose into your divine feminine energy, learning how to be open and honest and have that unguarded heart, have that open heart, have that open flow of love and expression of self without fear, your divine masculine is learning the same. Your divine masculine is learning from you. So at this time, I feel like divine masculine is really learning how to step into or open up to their feminine energy, which had been so suppressed, which had been so repressed. They are learning how to communicate. They're learning how to be open and vulnerable and truly authentically themselves. At the same time as this is happening with the masculine and feminine energies, you're healing wounds. You're healing core wounds. A lot of it has been around rejection and abandonment. And especially what they had channeled to me yesterday was the abandonment wound is the same core wound, only expressed differently. So again, the non-commitment from the masculine, the non-expressiveness, that's all related to the feminine energy within them being suppressed for so long. Whereas with you, you're releasing the control because that masculine energy within you has been, that's a distorted masculine energy within you, where you're healing. You don't need to control the situation. You don't need to lead the situation. You just need to be able to receive. That's your natural divine feminine energy. That's the embodiment of who you are, just allowing the universe to flow through you, just allowing divine timing to unfold, allowing this connection to unfold. But so divine masculines were non-committal, which was an expression of their distorted feminine energy within them, which they're learning to heal. Divine feminines, you were having abandonment wounds as well, where you were pushing too much for the connection. You were clinging to it, attaching to it. You were trying to force things to happen because you just wanted it. And there's nothing wrong with wanting it, but it's the forcing. You were trying to lead it too much, which is the masculine energy within you that was coming out, but you had to step back into your divine feminine energy, which is flow. I really hope this is making sense. I'm going to try to clarify it further if it's not. So stay tuned. Let me know in the comments. Because it's all kind of unraveling for me right now. It's all kind of making sense, and they're giving me a lot of clarity around it right now. I really understood that when I recently saw my divine masculine and spent some time with him. I really saw the pattern within myself of abandonment that is still there. Now, it's not coming from a place of wanting to force it. I understand that divine timing is at play, that I can't force anything, nor do I want to force anything. But abandonment for divine feminines also comes from a place of, if it's not happening now, there's a false belief that it will never happen. And that's where the control is coming into play. It's that fear. And both of you are coming from a place of fear. Divine masculines are coming from a place of fear of being vulnerable, fear of being open and honest and intimate because of past pain, past heartbreak. They feel like they're going to repeat the pattern. Divine feminines, you're afraid of the pattern repeating, of you're going to lose your divine masculine. You're going to lose your chance for this connection. When both of you have to understand, and it's making me so overwhelmed with emotion, both of you understand that this is a connection, a bond that can never be broken. This love that exists between you two, it withstands any obstacle. It withstands any amount of distance. It withstands any amount of time. Understand that you guys have been together for lifetimes. Lifetimes. You have been born together, not just in this lifetime, but as that one soul. You were born together. You are one. That is what they mean by you were one. It's funny, my divine masculine was saying something about the Big Bang yesterday. Or one of his friends was saying something about the Big Bang yesterday, and how he was having a conversation about that. That's you guys. That's you guys. Just as the universe was birthed through that Big Bang, through that one moment in time, so were you. You and your divine counterpart as that one soul. You were birthed in one moment in time. The same vibration, the same frequency, the same soul song, the same you. You express yourself individually as two independent individual people, humans incarnated here on earth, but you are one soul expressing itself in two separate bodies. That is the beauty of your connection. That is the beauty of your love. And divine feminines, I know how hard that is to really feel when in the physical it feels like there's distance, when in the physical it feels like there's separation, like there's no communication, or like your divine masculine is pushing you away. But understand that when your divine masculine is pushing you away, he's only pushing himself away. And that is coming from fear, that is coming from self-sabotage, that is coming from ego. That is what is being dissolved. Just as you are learning how to dissolve the ego, that is coming from a place of fear of self-protection and self-preservation. I recognize this pattern in myself this morning. I recognized that my first instinct when I'm not receiving what I want, and I don't want to put it that way because that's not what I mean. When I don't feel like I'm being appreciated, when I don't feel like here's what it feels like. I'm going to be completely raw and open with you guys. and I feel like divine feminines can relate. Two things. Number one, on the physical, in the 3D, when I'm looking at the 3D, sometimes it feels like my divine masculine will appreciate and show affection for and love everybody else but me. That's what it really feels like, because he holds himself back. In the 3D, in the physical plane, it feels like there's so much love in my life from everybody but my divine masculine. And it feels like there's so many people who show me support, and believe me, I am so grateful for you guys who do. I am so unbelievably grateful. That's not what I'm talking about here. It feels like I have that love and I have that support that every single person wants and deserves. I don't care how spiritual you are. I don't care if you are living as a monk on a mountaintop. And we're not talking about validation. We're talking about human needs, which is physical touch and appreciation and love. That is just part of being human. And it's like you don't need it, but it's a part of the equation of being human. You don't need to seek it out from anybody else, but it's welcomed. Let's put it that way. It's welcomed because you really do have everything that you need within you. But we live in a time, we live in a place where we are connected to other people. And part of that connection is honoring each other and loving each other and showing appreciation for each other. That is part of this human experience in this time and place right here, right now, where we are so interconnected with each other. So what I realized was when I don't feel like I'm being appreciated, especially within my connection, I immediately have been going into a pattern of, well, maybe he's not really my divine masculine. Maybe this connection isn't meant to be. Maybe we're just meant to teach each other and to grow, which absolutely, yes. This is a soul growth journey first and foremost. It's showing you the patterns. It's showing you the wounding, but it's also showing you the love. And it's showing you the infinite nature of the love that you have with each other, because you are on this journey together. But I realized that I immediately go into that flight mode. I immediately try to pull back from the connection and guard my heart. That is my ego at work. That is my ego that is self-sabotaging. That is trying to protect myself. That is me that is trying to pull back and say, put a hand up and say, well, maybe this isn't meant to be. Rather than keep an open heart, rather than focusing on the love that does exist between us. Because I feel it and I see it. It's just not expressed right now in the way that I would like to be receiving of it. But understand, I never saw more clearly than I did the past few days that you truly are mirrors of each other. Now, what your divine masculine is doing, that's up to them. You know, you cannot control their healing. You cannot make them see the mirror for themselves. You cannot make them see themselves and the role that they're playing for their connection and for their life. They have to open their own eyes to their life and change whatever it is that they want to change. That's part of you accepting them as they are. That's part of you loving them as they are. And you do. You see, part of the struggle for divine feminines is you see the past, present, and future versions of themselves. You're able to see, because you have that 5D template that you bring down into the 3D, you're able to see the best and highest timeline for the both of you. I've had visions of me and my divine masculine in the 3D, celebrating Christmases and family life and home life. I've had visions of us doing our mission work in the 5D. I don't know what that looks like in the 3D yet, but I've had visions of it in the 5D. the energetics of it. And it's difficult because we're not there. That is part of the burden that divine feminines have been carrying, is we see and love and accept the past versions of them. We forgive the past versions of our masculines. We love and appreciate who they are now, but we struggle with who they are now because we also see that best and highest timeline. And we want that best and highest timeline for all of us. But all you can do, feminines, is focus on your best and highest timeline. Allow the journey to keep unfolding and keep facing your wounding. Keep facing the patterns and changing the patterns. My egoic mind could have continued on with that pattern today, this morning especially, and said, well, he didn't hug me the way he used to, or he pulled back again, or, he doesn't care enough, or he doesn't care at all. My egoic mind could have gone there. But I know that's not the truth. I know that's not the truth. I have to recognize that my divine masculine just is not in a place where he can express in a way, again, that I want to receive. Or maybe even I'm hearing express in a way that he wants to express. But that's what he's working on. That's the transformation and the growth that he's responsible for, that he needs to go through, that he is going through. And all I can do is just love and accept and hold that space. Now, here's something else that I was told as a download, as an epiphany this morning. You are also being shown contrast within your connection, which is helping you to rise, both counterparts. So take it as it resonates for you, but I'm specifically talking about divine feminines as a divine feminine. But take it as it resonates for you if you're a divine masculine who is watching. You are being shown contrast. There's two ways that you manifest. There's two ways that you make choices for your life. Through desire and through contrast. Desire is what you do want. Contrast is what you don't. Divine feminines, when you are experiencing things that seem lackluster in your connection, things that don't make you feel good within your connection, whether this is lack of communication, whether this is lack of affection, whether this is lack of acknowledgement, lack of appreciation, support, whatever it is that you're experiencing within your connection that doesn't make you feel good, it is showing you contrast about what you don't want in a relationship, in a conscious relationship. A conscious relationship is one where both parties are expressing to each other their needs, their wants, working in compromise, working in tandem. It is a mature relationship where you're communicating to each other. And what you're doing is you are on this sacred union journey is you are building to that conscious relationship. It's a sacred partnership, but it's a conscious relationship in the 3D. So it's sacred energetically, but in the 3D, you're working on conscious relationships, which is all about communication and all about working together. Not being so individualistic anymore. You're two parts to one whole. Two parts to one whole. Two parts coming together to create a unit in partnership. And so if you're seeing something that you don't like, it's showing you contrast so that you don't settle for less than you deserve or less than what you want. And even, especially in, they're correcting me, especially in your sacred partnership, you do not settle. Divine feminine does not settle. Just like divine masculine does not settle. And you are learning not to settle. I had that experience today. I had that experience where there was something that I just realized that it was something very simple, something very, I don't want to go into details with it, but something very simple that I said, you know what? That doesn't feel good to me. It's not helpful to me. It's not healthy for me. So I'm going to go and take care of myself the way I deserve to, the way I need to. And that's exactly what I did. And it showed me contrast about even the simplest thing, even the most material of objects. what it is I do and don't want in a connection, what it is I do and don't want in a relationship. It's showing you contrast, and it's helping you to rise. And it's very hard, especially with your sacred partner, to be honest with yourself about what it is that you do and don't want at this time. And it just means that, listen, if you came together at this time and there were things that were not healthy for you, or things that didn't feel good to you, would you be happy within that connection, truly? The answer is no. Be honest with yourself and ask yourself those hard questions, those tough questions. And that just shows you that maybe it's not time. That helps you to understand that you have to trust in the divine unfolding. Because just because it's not time now doesn't mean it won't be time at a later date. It's not a now or never. It's not a now or never. You are always connected with your sacred partner, with your divine person. You're always connected through that love. And maybe your life has to take a lot of detours. You know, it can go a number of different ways. No one sacred union path, we are part of a collective, but no one sacred union path is the same. For some, there might be soulmates that are coming in to further show you what you do and don't want in a connection, to further show you where you were settling, where you were abandoning yourself for the sake of this connection, to help you further rise into your power of what you do and don't deserve, what you will and will not settle for. Because remember, it is about you. It is about what you want. And as you come together in partnership, then it's about what you both want and what you both need. But And that's where compromise comes in. That's that understanding the conscious connection is understanding compromise. But as part of a relationship, as part of any relationship. But if something isn't healthy for you, if something feels toxic, or if something doesn't feel safe to you, or if something doesn't feel like energetically safe, or if something doesn't feel good to you, that's when you need to express yourself, be honest with yourself, and change your pattern, or make decisions for yourself that allows you to step more into your power and say, this is what I actually deserve. And your person will either meet you there, or that will be your choice to depart from the connection for a while. Now, it doesn't mean departing from the connection like energetically, because you're always going to be bonded. You're always going to have that love again. But again, that's where some soulmates are coming in. For others who choose to remain single, that's where you're going on your path just to continue your soul growth journey, to continue your spiritual studies, to continue your own expansion, to continue opening up your gifts and enjoying your life. Especially if this connection feels like it was holding you back in some way, shape, or form. For others, the connection is coming into being where there is communication that is happening, an awareness of the connection, an awareness of the actual conscious relationship, and through that, you're talking to each other about what you want for your future, how you see this unfolding, compromising with one another. This does not mean compromising your values. You and your divine partner, you share the same value system. You share the same core beliefs. But it's about talking about that. It's about communicating that to each other. Where are you not feeling heard? Where are you not feeling appreciated? It's about expressing that and feeling like you're being heard. Feeling like, again, where the divine masculine comes in is allowing the divine feminine to express herself. Allowing her to feel safe and heard. So there's a number of different scenarios that are coming in as a result of your own self-awareness, as a result of your own reflection and your own honesty. And a lot of it has to do around the core wounding of abandonment. That seems to be coming up collectively as a whole. It seems to be coming up lately, especially with this full moon energy. Is there a place where you are still abandoning yourself for the sake of somebody else, for the sake of others, for the sake of this journey, for the sake of this connection? Because if you're still focused on this connection and abandoning yourself for this connection, then you're not stepping up into your power. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being true to yourself. And you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be true to yourself. And the release, the letting go, in whichever form it takes, whichever one of those scenarios it takes, it can be difficult. It can be painful. Even if you and your divine partner are coming together to communicate, it can be difficult to express your needs, especially if there's a fear that you're not being heard. But that's where you step into your power. You step into your power by saying, this is who I am. This is what I need. This is what I deserve. This is what I want. And I will not settle for less. You will never have to settle for less in any relationship when you are in your divinity, when you are in your power. Because that is you being in alignment with you. That is you being in alignment with your heart and with your soul. Okay. I feel like that was a lot. I'm not going to actually pull any cards, so this is just going to be a special message here. I'm going to get some more clarity. I'm going to do some meditation today, get some more clarity in that, see if I can articulate it a little bit more. But it's time. I said it's now or never, but honestly, what they're saying to me now is it really is time. It really is time. It's not now or never with regards to your connection. That's where you have to let go of the control and the timing and allow it to unfold. It's now or never for you. It's now or never for you to step into your power. Because you're at a crucial point in your journey where you're ready to level up to your best and highest timeline so that you can start helping others ascend, help others to awaken. It is time for you to be truly honest with yourself, to be truly open with yourself, and to just keep stepping into your power, asserting yourself. Assertion doesn't mean aggression. Assertion means knowing what you want, knowing what you deserve, knowing what is and isn't in alignment with you at this time, and having that self-awareness and that self-reflection and self-honesty to recognize the patterns where there's still some work to be done as far as healing, and where you are in the connection and how the connection is coming together. You leave that up to the universe. You leave how the connection comes together up to the universe, because that's not in anybody's control. And if you think it's in your control, divine masculine or divine feminine, then that's just the ego. This connection is unfolding. This connection is coming together. But first and foremost, you have to focus on yourself and your divinity, your power within, and rising into the truest version of yourself you can be. Because your divine masculine will be right there with you when it is time. But they will only rise into their divinity if you are in yours. If you're in yours. Okay, you guys. That's going to be, time for healing. This was the card that we got yesterday. That's going to be it for today. Just a few channeled messages. I will come back with a Sacred Union energy update and possibly a live chat this week as well, hopefully tomorrow. So make sure that you stay tuned to the channel. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon.